Yeah, so well, obviously we're using the Festool Domino that you just saw us cutting with. Brilliant tool, really like using it. It's so accurate, and it just, for putting wardrobes and big bulky things together, it just keeps everything in position whilst you're fixing it and screwing it. But what you'll probably noticed when we were cutting these, this is our front edge of the wardrobe for one side, and that side over there is the front edge of the other side. But we've cut a smaller hole there than these ones that are going towards the back and the middle. What it does is it means that this domino fits super tight in there. There's no room for movement at all. The corresponding shelf that fits into there, this first hole that comes from the front will be cut with the same setting. So when that's cut, it will be spot on against the two surfaces there. There's no movement at all. But the reason we've opened it up, it's as recommended by Festool, is that these hold it in position, but if there's any fraction of anything slightly out, you've got a little bit of play there, so nothing's going to foul on it. So really, this is like the indexing one, if you like. That is the one that sort of governs the position of it. These just keep it all steady.
So if you cock that first one up, yeah, I guess you could just widen it slightly. You can, yeah. I mean, it's happened in the past. Usually when I'm rushing around, and I'm trying to go a bit too quick with it, but see how tight they are. Well, it can stay in there, it's staying in there anyway. Yeah, but yeah, if you get it wrong, you can recut it. You can change the setting on the domino just to open it up a little bit if you need to, and and then at that point you need two of you to hold it whilst you're fixing it. Especially for wardrobes, it really is good. James, you could have had all these done at the factory, couldn't you? All these whatever.
I'm not sure
what would they do?
I don't know if they do this.
They do something, don't they? Because obviously if they're putting wardrobes together.
Yeah, I haven't looked into that far into it actually. I know we have had drawer boxes made up by them. Really good, very good, and that saves a massive amount of time, because making up drawers was always a pain. And trying to get them, spot on, especially if you're working on site, if you haven't got a decent enough area to work, or it's outside and it's raining and you've got a gazebo up or something, it's a nightmare. But their drawer boxes are really good, and they work it out. So you just tell them the inner dimension of your carcass, the height of the side of the drawer, and the length of the runner. And they just work it all out, and they send them to you, and they work it out to work with Blum tandem runners for timber drawers, and they're spot on. They're really good. Things change sometimes, even this morning we had the clients in here saying, whereabouts do you want this shelf? So if I'd have had it set up at a position as actually we want it a bit lower, then there's all holes in it then.
Yeah, we know that one, because customers, until they actually see the physical thing in front of them and measure it up against them, and then you give them a measurement, or they give you a measurement, and then they go, oh no, it's a little bit higher than I thought, or whatever.
It happens all the time. So yeah, for the sake of us doing it, and at least it gives us something to do still. We don't want to take all of the skill away.
Yeah, otherwise you just become like IKEA assembly.
Exactly. Right, yeah. So this it feels like flat back pretty much, but and it's great. But we do want to still have a bit of something to do.
Sure, no, that's fine.
There comes a point where it's not worth getting them to do absolutely everything. Otherwise, people may just order it themselves, like you say, like an IKEA. Just need to remember that this middle shelf, which we'll keep this one as it's the middle, we're going to put the domino flat on there because we're following that line we got earlier. Yeah. So the others will be hooked over the top, so that they will be flush on the ends, and this one will be the bottom. Yeah.
Can't use those, James, they're rock.
Yeah, the condensation in the bedroom might cause it to rot. There's some heating pipes behind it, so who knows.
Very You're not gluing the actual dominoes. You don't need to worry.
We'll probably run a bit into these because they're so tight in this side cut, but on the end cut, so they're a bit looser. So when we pull it apart, we'll glue it into one side. It's really, I mean, we never even used to. We used to just use screws years ago.
Yeah.
Before we could afford these tools on finance. He's after using a bit of footage from Loft Suffer and editing it a bit and his website. No, I've got this. I've set up a camera in our kitchen.
Yeah.
Because the kids keep nicking the food. The thing is, well, they've always done it, you know. It's like, go and get a packet of crisps. So it's like, well, you know, you've got to ask if you want something, but they don't think it applies to them. Yeah. And it just really, it was about 2 weeks ago, really annoyed me. So some friends of ours popped over and they bought my wife some Ferrero Rocher. She really likes that. So it was like all nice in a little pyramid and all that. And so they kept, all the kids, can I have one? No, their mums. No, can I have one? No, you can't have one. We said he can't have one, you can't have one either. So they're all there, still, a few gone, we've had a few of an evening. Gone out. Come back, there's 2 missing. And I know, that's sad, I counted them. so there's only 2 culprits really in our house. So I went and asked both of them. No, I haven't had one. Oh, did you have 2? No. So I'm like, right, so it annoyed me. So I went and bought a motion detection camera and I've set it up in that little pantry bit we've got in our kitchen. Yeah. So that when the door gets open, it notifies me every time there's a bit of movement.
Oh, really?
And it's just pointing directly at these chocolates. And since then, we've got another box of chocolates and put it there as a lure. It's pathetic, isn't it?
You could get reported for this, you know.
So if we glue up if we glue that side up, we'll put it on there, then we'll lean it forward and screw from the edge, side on. There's a name written on the end of it. I wonder if all these screws are made in the same factory and they're just put in different boxes.
Yeah. This strange pattern that's appeared on the wall since the room was plastered. Has anybody ever seen this before? Put your comments below.
I think you might have done that thing again. I just got...
Got it from the Dewalt factory.
Get all the fronts lined up. That's it.
Yeah.
Don't do it. That's it. Being primed, if we do need to adjust it at all, it's so much easier for marking on. You can see, you know, your pencil on MDF. It's not always that easy.
That's the front, isn't it?
That's that.
Oh, okay.
The unprimed, we always put it back on our wardrobes because it keeps them nice and square and solid. I always have the back cut 2mm smaller in either dimension, just in case it fouls anywhere or overhangs for whatever reason, or when you're putting 2 together you don't want anything rubbing. But it's really good for keeping them square. So we choose 2 edges, we pin all the way along one, and then we square the bottom up.
Got it.
And then we know it's 100% square. And when we put it in, put feet on it, level it up, we know it's going to if we're level, it's going to be level in all dimensions. Nice and square along there, and that. So we've got a little bit.
So what did you do at the weekend then? Eat Ferrero Rocher? Was that your?
No, I didn't. I've sellotaped it shut to really get them like. So
I'm surprised you didn't hollow out the middles. Put them all back in.
You know what?
Wrapped up.
I've probably sellotaped it shut, and that's what they've already done. So it's probably just full of wrappers.
Oh, got it. Yeah, of course.
And they're the ones laughing. I'm thinking, oh, I'm going to get you. I'm going to catch you. And they're like, oh, well, we've eaten it already. Right. And then
4 mil less, or 2 mil?
2 mil either direction. These are from SDS.
Right.
They're pretty good actually, next day delivery. Well, I actually went to Ironmongery Direct first, but at the time they weren't guaranteeing I'd get it the next day, and I said, well, I need them the next day, and usually they do if you order before 9 or something. But I said, well, what if I pay the extra? They said no.
There's so many. I reckon you can't buy a van at the moment because all the couriers are bought in, and it's like everyone who can is doing deliveries.
So, oh, 17.
Yeah.
It's very tight underneath that picture welder. Cut this corner out for the pipe work. It's in. A lot of faffing about. Okay, so if we're all the way back to that wall now, shit doesn't look particularly square. Looks like this side wants to go in a bit further. Right, maybe pull that right inside out. It doesn't look very square. Right. Our fillet piece is going to. The door's 22, and we're going to bring our fillet to 24.
Yeah.
So we want to be 24 mil past there and cut that skirting off at that point. And to hold it in position, you wind it down.
And then flipping miles off. Yeah, come up 2 mil at the back, right?
I've had trouble trying to get hold of it anymore.
PVA.
Type bond. It's. I used to have it. I used to get it from Ironmongery Direct. But they seem to have stopped doing it. I think they've gone to the Gorilla Glue doing it. But what I quite like is the nozzle on the end.
Yeah, yeah.
Spinner in.
You ever thought about making coffins, James?
I'm thinking about making one for myself.
Oh, you are a star.
should be able to push that back corner in.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. That gives us a little quirk then.
Just a little, yeah.
5mm. Okay.
There.
So yeah, so if you cut this, well, you could do it for real, like put the fillet on this side as well, or decor end.
Poor old Ian, he
brings it on himself.
Yeah, he does.
He always offers it. So it's my fault.
There's no top and bottom to these doors, James, they're all...
there is on this one. I've got the top panel slightly bigger.
Oh, right.
Than the bottom, so
you've got to get the hinges on the right side then.
Shh! Stop it!
So it's a fancy bit of kit you got there, mate?
Yeah. I've had it a few years now, actually. I mean, I bought it when I had a big spate of wardrobes that I was doing, and I was getting... I never really liked cutting in the concealed hinges. I've tried loads of different. I've had the bit you put in a drill, which is the worst way. It goes skating off down the door.
Oh, right.
Router, it's quite dusty, and it's a lot of stuff to get out of the van just to put a few holes in the door. And somebody on a forum that I'm on recommended one of these, so I looked it up, and at the time, probably about 4 or 5 years ago, it was around about 120 quid. So I thought, no, it looks a bit of kit, and it is made by Blum as well.
Okay.
So it's all set up for their stuff. Extraction.
Plaster the wall straight instead.
Yeah. If, like me, you can't plaster a straight wall.
That was vicious, wasn't it?
This is my manly crowbar.
I've got one of those. Very handy.
They are, they're really good.
Yeah. I've got it in a Christmas cracker.
I'll take some mine.
I was going to say, it doesn't close now.
Oh, what is this? Something annoying. Or maybe I've pushed it. Oh, I can adjust the hinge slightly. Must be just fractionally tight.
Yeah. Oh, it's my stomach.
All done for the day. Probably just under a day. It's not been a long day. Wardrobe, open shelving, fitted. It's all done. And that's the beauty of using these pre-cutting companies. It's already done and it's pre-primed.
And those Blum hinges, they're a joy as well.
They're amazing. I mean, they just make life so much easier. Fully adjustable, nice and easy to fit when you've got the Blum jig, which is relatively inexpensive if you're doing it all the time.
Yeah. There's a bit of money to be made out of wardrobes, really, because when you look at people like Sharps, for example, they're sort of an arm and a leg, that stuff, is it?
It is, and considering a lot of their stuff, they don't. What Ian used to work for them, don't put backs in a lot of the wardrobes. So they literally scribe side panels straight to the existing wall that says whatever you've got behind there. Yeah. That's what you're left with inside your wardrobe.
Got it.
At least this way, it's all nicely sealed up. It's a complete unit. And if you ever did want to take it out, you could quite possibly take it out and put it somewhere else, because the only things that make it fit this room are the scribes.
Got it.
So it's fully removable.
Okay, so thanks, James. And Ian, of course. Ian,
there he is.
Thank you.
I
think we would call you the silent partner.
Trying to hide.
That's great. We'll see you again soon, hopefully. Yeah.
Take care.